In the journey of personal development, one of the most liberating and powerful principles is simply this: start where you are. This is not an excuse for stagnation, but a radical acceptance that serves as the only genuine starting point for meaningful change. The Socratic mind, that enduring spirit of relentless inquiry, self-examination, and pursuit of truth inspired by Socrates, reminds us that maximizing our potential begins not in some idealized future, but in the honest acknowledgement of our current state, with all its imperfections, strengths, and untapped possibilities. Socrates, the cornerstone of Western philosophy, proclaimed that the unexamined life is not worth living. He understood that genuine wisdom emerges from recognizing our own limitations and ignorance. In today's world of endless self-help promises and quick-fix solutions, this Socratic approach remains profoundly relevant and countercultural. We are bombarded with messages suggesting that success requires perfect conditions: more money, better opportunities, ideal timing, or a complete life overhaul before we can begin. We delay our dreams with phrases like, "I'll start when I have more time," "once I'm in better shape," or "when my circumstances improve." But the Socratic mind pierces these delusions with unflinching clarity. There is no perfect moment but now, no ideal self but the one you inhabit today. Starting where you are demands courageous self-honesty. It requires conducting a thorough, compassionate inventory of your life as it currently exists. Engage in Socratic dialogue with yourself. What do I truly believe about my capabilities? Which assumptions about myself and the world are serving me, and which are holding me back? Where am I making excuses instead of progress? What fears are disguised as practical reasons? These questions are not meant to induce self-judgment or despair, but to illuminate reality with the light of awareness. The beauty of this approach lies in its immediacy and accessibility. You don't need extraordinary resources, privileged circumstances, or dramatic life changes to begin unlocking your potential. You need only willingness to see clearly, to question deeply, and to act consistently from your present position. Most personal development failures stem from future-oriented thinking. "I'll be happy when," or "my life will begin once." The Socratic mind redirects our focus to the present, where true power resides. Your current circumstances, no matter how challenging, contain the seeds of your growth. That demanding job teaching valuable skills in resilience and communication? Those relationship difficulties developing emotional intelligence and boundary setting? Financial constraints fostering creativity and resourcefulness? Health challenges cultivating discipline and body awareness? Even perceived failures hold lessons in perseverance and adaptation. The Socratic mind views every aspect of your present reality as raw material for sculpting your potential. Consider potential not as something to acquire externally, but as something to reveal internally. Like Michelangelo's famous assertion that the statue already exists within the marble, waiting only to be freed, your greatest self is already present, obscured by layers of limiting beliefs, unproductive habits, unhelpful relationships, and distorted thinking patterns. The process of maximization is one of subtraction as much as addition, removing what no longer serves you to reveal what has always been there. Begin with awareness practices rooted in Socratic inquiry. Dedicate time daily to reflective questioning. What did I learn from today's experiences? Where did I limit myself unnecessarily? What small adjustment could align me more closely with my deepest values? This regular examination builds self-knowledge, the foundation of all lasting change. Small insights accumulate into profound wisdom. Minor adjustments compound into major transformations. Action bridges the gap between awareness and realization. The Socratic mind insists that knowledge without application is worthless. Start where you are by taking the smallest viable step toward your aspirations. Aspire to write a book? Write one paragraph today. Desire better health? Take a 10-minute walk. Seek stronger relationships? Send one message of genuine appreciation. These microactions, executed consistently from your current reality, rewire neural pathways, build momentum, and provide tangible evidence that progress is possible. Resistance is inevitable. Procrastination, doubt, fear. The Socratic mind welcomes resistance as a teacher rather than an enemy. When it arises, inquire curiously. What belief is this resistance protecting? What outcome am I afraid of if I succeed? Which part of my current identity might I lose? These questions uncover hidden barriers that keep most people trapped in potential rather than expressing it. Your environment influences, but does not determine your trajectory. Start where you are by optimizing what you control. It can't change jobs immediately. Transform your approach. Seek learning opportunities. Build networks. Document achievements. Challenging living situation. Create pockets of peace and productivity within your space. Limited finances? Leverage free resources, libraries, online courses, community programs. While practicing resourceful living, the Socratic mind emphasizes internal alignment over external perfection. When thoughts, words, and actions harmonize with your core values, you generate authentic power regardless of starting conditions. This congruence creates natural magnetism, attracting opportunities and inspiring others. Community accelerates growth. Start where you are by seeking connections that challenge and support your development. Find mentors, join aligned groups, share your journey openly. Socrates himself developed wisdom through dialogue. Isolation breeds stagnation. Connection catalyzes transformation. Gratitude, viewed through the Socratic lens, becomes strategic awareness rather than empty positivity. Regularly ask, what resources do I already possess that others lack? Health, education, freedom, supportive relationships? Recognizing existing assets shifts perspective from scarcity to abundance, from victimhood to empowerment. Failure transforms into feedback when examined Socratically. What worked? What didn't? What assumptions were incorrect? How can I refine my approach? This mindset eliminates fear of failure, converting obstacles into education. Time is the great compounder. Starting where you are today with consistent, inquiry-guided action creates exponential results. The imperfect but persistent person surpasses the perfectionist waiting for ideal conditions every time. The Socratic mind's profound teaching. You are simultaneously the sculptor and the marble. Your potential is limited not by your starting point, but by your willingness to examine honestly, question deeply, and act decisively from exactly where you stand right now. The journey to maximization begins not tomorrow, not when conditions improve, not when you're ready. It begins immediately, in this present moment, with whatever you have and whoever you are. Start where you are. Your greatest potential awaits discovery beneath your feet, right now. Building on the foundation of starting where you are, the Socratic mind's most potent tool for maximizing potential is relentless, constructive inquiry. Socrates revolutionized thinking by demonstrating that wisdom emerges not from proclaiming answers, but from asking better questions. In personal development, this method remains unmatched for uncovering truth, challenging assumptions, and illuminating paths forward that remain hidden to conventional thinking. The Socratic mind operates through systematic questioning that peels away layers of illusion, revealing core truths about ourselves and our circumstances. This isn't casual wondering. It's disciplined, persistent examination designed to expose contradictions, test beliefs, and generate deeper understanding. When applied to personal growth, Socratic inquiry transforms vague dissatisfaction into clear direction and paralyzing confusion into actionable insight. Begin by questioning your current narrative. Most people operate from unexamined stories about who they are, what they're capable of, and what life owes them. The Socratic mind demands, what evidence supports the story? Where did these beliefs originate? Are they based on personal experience or inherited from others? Which parts serve my growth, and which restrict it? This process often reveals that many truths we've accepted. I'm not good at math. Success requires suffering. I don't have time. Are actually limiting assumptions rather than immutable facts. Extend inquiry to your goals and desires. Why do I want this particular outcome? What need does it fulfill? Is this desire truly mine, or influenced by societal expectations, family pressures, or social media comparisons? What would success in this area actually look like, feel like, require of me? These questions clarify authentic aspirations from superficial wants, ensuring your efforts align with genuine fulfillment rather than external validation. The Socratic mind excels at exposing hidden obstacles. When progress stalls, ask, what am I avoiding? What fear disguises itself as practicality? Which belief about failure or success keeps me playing small? What payoff do I receive from remaining stuck? Comfort, familiarity, avoiding judgment. These inquiries reveal subconscious barriers that rational planning alone cannot address. Question your daily choices and habits with the same rigor. Why did I make that decision? What alternative perspectives did I ignore? How does this action align with my stated values? What small change could produce disproportionate results? This ongoing examination transforms routine behaviors into conscious choices, gradually reshaping your life trajectory. The Socratic approach to learning is particularly powerful. Rather than passively consuming information, engage actively. What does this teaching assume? Where might it be incomplete? How does this apply to my specific circumstances? What experiments could test its validity in my life? This turns knowledge acquisition from memorization into integration, making learning personal and transformative. Relationships benefit immensely from Socratic inquiry. When conflicts arise, what am I projecting onto this person? What need of mine feels threatened? How might my communication contribute to this dynamic? What assumptions am I making about their intentions? These questions foster understanding over reactivity, turning potential ruptures into opportunities for deeper connection. Professional development accelerates through targeted questioning. What skills do my current challenges demand I develop? Where am I operating from strength versus compensating for weakness? What feedback have I resisted that might contain truth? How could I create more value in my role? This mindset positions every workplace experience as training ground for excellence. Financial growth requires examining money beliefs. What stories about wealth did I inherit? Where do I confuse money with security, status, or self-worth? What spending patterns reveal my true priorities? How could I create more value to command greater resources? These inquiries shift financial reality from mysterious external force to manageable internal process. Health and wellness transform through honest questioning. What habits genuinely nourish my body and mind? Where am I using food, exercise, or rest as emotional management? What small, sustainable changes would compound into significant results? How does my current lifestyle align with the vitality I desire in later years? The Socratic mind's questioning extends to purpose and meaning. What activities make me lose track of time? When do I feel most alive and contributory? What legacy do I wish to leave? How does my daily life reflect or contradict these deeper values? These inquiries guide life direction toward authentic fulfillment rather than conventional success metrics. Master the art of questioning resistance. When procrastination strikes, what specific fear does this task trigger? What catastrophic outcome am I imagining? What evidence contradicts this fear? How would completing this task serve my larger goals? This approach dissolves paralysis, converting resistance into momentum. Question success as rigorously as failure. Upon achievement, what contributed to this outcome? Which elements were luck versus skill? How can I replicate the controllable factors? Where might success breed complacency? This prevents resting on laurels and ensures continuous growth. The Socratic mind teaches that answers evolve. Today's truth may become tomorrow's limitation as understanding deepens. Maintain humility. What do I believe now that future me might view as naive? This openness prevents dogmatic thinking and supports lifelong evolution. Questioning creates space for possibility. By dismantling assumed constraints, I can't because, we reveal options previously invisible. The Socratic mind thrives in this space between knowing and not knowing, where creativity and innovation emerge. Practice Socratic inquiry daily through journaling, meditation, or conversation. Write questions without immediately seeking answers, allowing insights to surface naturally. Discuss challenging questions with trusted others. Their perspectives often illuminate blind spots. The power of Socratic questioning lies in its universality. Regardless of starting point, education, resources, age, circumstances. Anyone can ask better questions. This democratic tool levels the playing field, making profound growth accessible to all willing to engage honestly with themselves. Through persistent inquiry, we transform from passive recipients of life's circumstances into active architects of our destiny. The Socratic mind reveals that potential maximization isn't about becoming someone new, but about becoming more authentically ourselves, stripping away falsehoods to reveal the excellence that was always present. Question everything, especially yourself. In the answers that emerge lies your path to extraordinary living. Having embraced your present reality and cultivated the Socratic mind's inquiry, the final pillar of maximizing potential is consistent action guided by compounding growth. The Socratic approach recognizes that wisdom without application remains theoretical. True transformation requires translating insight into habitual behavior that, over time, produces extraordinary results through the magic of compounding. Consistent action begins with commitment to daily practice, however small. The Socratic mind understands that massive change emerges from microscopic consistency rather than dramatic overhauls. Grand resolutions often fail because they demand perfection. Sustainable growth thrives on manageable repetition. Start where you are by identifying one keystone habit, a single daily action that positively influences multiple life areas, and commit to it unconditionally. The power of consistency lies in neurological adaptation. Each repetition strengthens neural pathways, making desired behaviors increasingly automatic. What begins as effortful choice becomes natural inclination. The Socratic mind monitors this process through regular reflection. How has this habit changed my thinking? What new capabilities have emerged? Where do I notice resistance decreasing? Compound growth operates on the principle that small advantages, consistently applied, produce exponential results over time. A 1% daily improvement, compounded over a year, yields 37 times better outcomes. This mathematical reality transforms personal development from daunting to achievable. The Socratic mind applies this through questioning. What 1% improvement can I make today in health, relationships, skills, or mindset? How will today's small choice influence my trajectory 5 years from now? Track progress rigorously but compassionately. The Socratic mind uses tracking not for judgment, but for data, objective feedback on what works. Maintains simple records of key actions and outcomes, reviewing weekly to ask, what patterns emerge? Which efforts produce disproportionate results? Where should I adjust? This evidence-based approach replaces emotional guesswork with clear direction. Environment design amplifies consistency. Start where you are by engineering your surroundings to support desired behaviors and hinder undesired ones. Place running shoes by the door for morning exercise. Remove distractions from workspaces. Create visual cues reminding you of commitments. The Socratic mind questions environmental influences. What in my space encourages excellence? What enables procrastination or unhealthy choices? How can I modify my environment to make positive action easier than inaction? Accountability partnerships accelerate growth. Share commitments with trusted individuals who provide honest feedback without enabling excuses. The Socratic dialogue with an accountability partner sharpens thinking. What obstacles did I encounter? How did I respond? What alternative approaches might work better? This external perspective often reveals blind spots internal reflection misses. Celebrate progress appropriately. The Socratic mind recognizes achievement while maintaining humility. What contributed to this success? How can I express gratitude without complacency? Appropriate celebration reinforces positive neural associations, making continued effort more rewarding. Adaptation ensures long-term sustainability. Life circumstances change. The Socratic mind embraces flexibility within consistency. When routines break, ask, what essential elements of my practice can I maintain under new conditions? How can I modify without abandoning core commitments? This resilience prevents all-or-nothing thinking that derails most transformation efforts. Identity integration solidifies change. Move from, I'm trying to become disciplined, to I am a disciplined person who sometimes faces challenges. The Socratic mind examines identity claims. Does this label reflect my actions? Where do behavior and identity align or conflict? How can I close gaps through consistent choice? When actions and identity harmonize, transformation becomes permanent. Compound growth extends beyond individual habits to knowledge and skills. Daily reading, deliberate practice, and reflection create expertise that appears sudden but results from years of accumulation. The Socratic mind pursues mastery through questioning. What fundamental principles underlie this skill? How can I apply them creatively? Where can I seek feedback to accelerate learning? Financial compounding mirrors personal growth. Consistent saving and investing, combined with increasing earning capacity through skill development, creates wealth that grows exponentially. The Socratic mind questions money habits. What beliefs limit my financial growth? How can I create more value for others? Where am I spending versus investing in future capability? Relationships compound through consistent investment of attention, appreciation, and presence. Small daily acts of kindness and understanding build trust and connection that deepen over time. The Socratic mind examines relational patterns. What communication habits strengthen bonds? Where do I withdraw when I should engage? How can I show up more fully for those who matter? Health compounds through daily choices in movement, nutrition, sleep, and stress management. Small, consistent improvements yield dramatic long-term vitality. The Socratic mind monitors. What choices today enhance my future health? Where am I trading short-term pleasure for long-term well-being? Legacy compounds through consistent contribution beyond self. Mentoring others, community involvement, creative expression. These acts create impact that extends far beyond individual lifespan. The Socratic mind contemplates. What difference am I making that will outlive me? How do today's actions contribute to lasting positive change? Challenges and setbacks are inevitable compounding teachers. The Socratic mind views difficulties as interest on growth investment. What wisdom does this challenge offer? How will overcoming it strengthen future capability? This perspective transforms obstacles into accelerators. Time horizon expands with maturity. Early efforts focus on immediate results. Socratic wisdom recognizes that true maximization unfolds over decades. Patience becomes strategic advantage. Consistent action today creates options tomorrow that currently seem impossible. The Socratic mind's final insight on action and compounding. Excellence is not an act, but a habit cultivated through daily choice. Potential maximization occurs not through heroic effort, but through ordinary actions performed extraordinarily consistently. Your current reality, examined honestly and acted upon persistently, becomes the foundation of a life that compounds into something remarkable. Start where you are. Question deeply. Act daily. Trust the process of compounding. The person you become through this disciplined approach will far exceed anything you currently imagine possible. Not because circumstances changed dramatically, but because you consistently chose growth from exactly where you stood. The Socratic mind teaches that destiny is shaped not by starting position, but by direction maintained and effort compounded. Begin now. Continue tomorrow. The results will astonish you.